Hello, everyone. Welcome to this video exclusive version of the show. I wanted to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak, regarding the back and forth feud of Simone Biles and Riley Gaines. Now, what really sparked this is first, full disclosure, right? I indeed was married for a while. I am divorced. We never had children. But rest assured, that doesn't stop me from having an opinion that if I had a daughter, which I would have liked to have had children, we just didn't. If I had a daughter, I would be completely out of my mind irate if a boy, in order to get a advantage, decided to want to play against the girls so they could succeed in girls sports when they were not good enough to succeed in male sports, as what we're seeing over and over and over. Do you ever hear of a guy competing in the girls' sports who comes in 10th place, still isn't good enough, but hey, they are actually competing against the girls because that's actually kind of the class they fit in because they still come in 10th? No, they're all coming over from 10th place in the boys' sports to win medals and take trophies from girls in the women's sports because that's the only place they can compete with an unfair advantage. Now, I'm upset and I don't buy Simone Biles' supposed ex apology to Riley Gaines. And why do I say that? I am of the opinion she just wants it all to stop. She wants it to stop that her idiocy has been exposed and people are lambasting her on X. But in her own apology, supposed apology, she's still peddling the idiotic woke line of equity in competitive sports. A trans line, a woke line. There is no such thing as competitive equity. Simone, are you going to give up your medals? I want to see you give up your medals to those other women sent or girls, whatever you want to say, females you competed against that came in fifth, sixth, 10th place. So, no, they can share in the competitive equity of having competed and got a medal for their efforts, even though they fell short. You potentially may have trained longer and harder and got better than them at your sport. But hey, in the name of competitive equity that you're spewing, give up your medals. I won't hold my breath waiting because we all know it's not going to happen. You got your medals, so you're willing to sell out females now not being able to get a medal or a trophy. because you've sold out and are allowing and supporting males to take their medals and their trophies in not a competitive equity situation, because we all know when dealing in the real science of biology that males generally have a competitive advantage over female counterparts of the same age class, even the same weight class, because male body muscle mass is often more easily acquired by a male than it is a female. Now, having said that, could Ronda Rousey beat the crap out of me? Absolutely, positively. Anyone and everyone with functioning brain cells understands there are exceptions to every rule. Ronda Rousey could beat the crap out of me and most males I know, but other males who also put in the same amount of time, energy, effort to training would likely rip her apart in the ring. This is reality that people refuse to deal in. So again, Simone, bile, spewing your vile, and again, selling out girls, women, females now, because right now, have I heard right? Do I remember right? Is she thinking of competing in the 2028 Olympics in LA? Also, too. All right. Give up your spot. If you want competitive equity, give up your spot to a lesser male who to take your spot in the upcoming Olympics, if it was and indeed is your intent, right? Give up your spot. Are you willing to do that? No, no, you won't, because you're a hypocrite. We all know it. We all see it. And your fake apology, in my opinion, again demonstrates it, that you're only apologizing to try to get people to stop talking to you, with you, at you about your clearly selling out females of today, because you've already got yours. Now, I could go on and on, but again, you're either rooted in reality and understand biological science, or you're delusional woke, dealing in delusion. Now, yes, could some girls potentially beat some boys head to head? Yes, indeed, if they've trained a lot better and longer and harder, and potentially beat them on that given day. But again, that would be an exception to the rule that we all know the male of the species has better capacity for strength and muscle tone with less effort than females. Not to say, again, that Ronda Rousey shows, the Simone Biles shows, and she has complained about people bullying her and body shaming her for the amount of muscle she has and shows, and yet called Riley Gaines mannish. She complains about bullying and body shaming, and she turns around and does it. So Simone has a lot of muscle tone, and she could probably beat a man without the same amount of muscle tone, although gymnastics is a subjective thing. There are technical points for pulling off certain things, but some of it is also style and grace while doing it. In a boxing match, where you can either knock out your opponent or they knock out you, it's a whole completely different other real sport situation where a male with even less body tone and mass would likely knock out normally Ronda Rousey. Although I'm sure in, 10 out of 10 matches, she might win one or two because she's just that good. She's a good athlete, but that belies the on average science of biology. I'm going to end here because, again, I could continue to rant and rave, but it wouldn't do any good. Simone is woke. Simone, in my opinion, clearly does not care anymore. She's got her accolades. She's got her endorsement deals. She's got the money coming in, and she doesn't care, again, in my opinion. And I believe her tweets demonstrate such, why I have the opinion, willing to sell out everybody else's wives and daughters and, or mothers and mothers, if somebody older in a sport still competing with this competitive equity nonsense. There isn't equity within gender classes. People train differently. There is always a winner and a loser. And you're willing to sell out women to lose to males who likely 999,999 times out of a million times would be losing in their own gender and weight classes. That's why they're pretending to be women to compete against the girls to win things they know they otherwise would not have. Reality. People just refusing to deal in reality.